You didn't start your business to feel stuck in it, right? This podcast is about creating the time freedom to enjoy a life as delicious as the business you're building without the guilt. I'm Shalise Daniels, a certified mindset and business coach, 7-figure business owner, and here we discuss the neuroscience behind radical rest strategies being essential for growing your business.
You just mentioned that you read a book, Who Not How, and that's what helped you scale. What are some habits that you have that has also helped you scale?
Habits. I certainly love to travel. I don't know if that's considered a habit or a hobby, but in my case, it has become a habit. I know that in order to keep moving, I have to keep creating efficient systems and ways in which I can fund this lifestyle and the ability to move around. Some of my habits are making sure I spend quality time building and nurturing friendship relationships. I don't know if that's even considered a habit, but it's very important to me because my life was not meant to work. I don't know if it's something that I know from being like, was I born this way? That I shouldn't be working, that I know there's a different way. So habits, gratefulness practice. Every morning when I wake up, I have something on my phone called the Rage of Appreciation. And I go through 5 things that I'm grateful for. Actually, it's 4 things that happened in the near term and 1 that hasn't happened yet that I put in the middle that I speak gratefulness for as if it has already happened. That's one of the biggest practices that I have. When I'm going through my little workout spells, I work out 4 times a week. And that's a habit when it's a habit. Right now, it ain't a habit for the past 3 or 4 weeks. But it's coming back. Reading. I read incessantly. I can say I listen to audiobooks incessantly. Always wanting to know something more, be better, optimize a certain thing, an area that I'm weak in, whether or not I choose to do it or find a who as opposed to learning how.
What are some books that you've read? I know you mentioned Who Not How is one book, but what are your top 3?
Rich Dad, top 3. That's tough. This is the hardest question you've asked me since we've been together. The top 3 books. Rich Dad, Poor Dad, by far, huge book. The Psychology of Money helped me not feel ashamed of my money blueprint. And just right off, T. Harv Eker. It's Secrets of a Millionaire Mind. Psychology of Money, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, T. Harv Eker. The Secrets of a Millionaire Mind.
Besides reading, what are some other practices or things that you might do that also help? For instance, me, I listen to a podcast every day. Sometimes I listen to the full episode, but for the most part, I like to get my 7 minutes in while I'm going through my daily minutes. And it's called the 7 Daily Minutes.
Oh, wow.
Of Greatness by Lewis Howes. He's taken a part of his podcast and he just gives the top 7 minutes from it.
Yeah.
So do you have anything like that you might listen to in the morning? Music, sound waves?
Right. That must be the paid Lewis Howes, because the paid subscription, because his other, is it free? It is? Okay, wow. Okay, I'll have to check into it. His other ones can be lengthy. Podcasts, I listen to podcasts. For a minute, I was doing this 750 words where I was writing this literally called 750words.com. And I was writing 750 words to dump my mind first thing in the morning. What's another habit besides being grateful? Dumping my mind. I don't always use 750 words, but I get everything that's even rambling, like pigeon, plant, blue, girl, boy, whatever is coming to my mind, I empty it. I get it out, and I do that almost daily, sometimes twice daily, especially when I'm stressed out. Meditation is a huge part of my life. It can be 2 minutes, it can be 5 minutes, and sometimes it can be 20. Another thing I do is ground. I take my shoes off. Like I took my shoes off in here. You were like, oh, you can put on the comfortable shoes. I was like, actually, I'm most comfortable barefoot. So I take my shoes off and I go outside. And those are some things that I love to do. And getting with my girlfriends, that's always a good time.
Okay, so with all of this that you do, everything that you do, how does it, or does any of this play a part in your business?
Oh my goodness, every part of it. The mind dumping allows me to talk to my clients free of having shit all clogged up in my head, as opposed to, so I'm clear and I'm clean and I'm able to focus on them and able to give them exactly what they need to come like as a vessel. And then the grounding, I think that's just another part of my meditation. It's something that I do to get me ready, my mindset ready for the day. And being grateful, it brings me more things to be grateful for. So that gratefulness practice, those things that I said, that the middle one that I have, I've seen some of those come to life. And so I'm able to scroll through and watch those middle pieces as they've all fallen into place. My business, being able to run it from anywhere in the world, being able to coach, whether I'm chilling in Costa Rica or in Australia or in Alaska, those are things that I wrote in my Rage of Appreciation journal, for lack of a better term, my iPhone notes.
We definitely do our iPhones for everything right now. So, I mean, let's see. Being that segment, now we're on to the subject on the iPhone. Time management is a big thing as far as our businesses go, or how we do our work. So, in this day of technology, and I know because you help people create systems, a lot of those systems can just be used from an iPhone, or
I am the most low-tech, technology systems-driven person you will ever run into. I use my iPhone notes. I use WhatsApp. I have Google Drive and spreadsheets open, so if I need to keep things, I can always keep them. Yes, you can run your business from your iPhone. Basically, I'm looking around for my iPhone. I don't have it anywhere around, but I have something on my phone called Road to Freedom. And it's a widget. And in that widget are all of the tools that I use that help keep my business running smoothly without me.
Speaking of widgets, just dump back to when you talked about motivation earlier. So I actually have a widget on here, and it pops up on this, or it pops up on my watch, and it's called motivation. Wow. And all it does, it just sends me things. Just every day, it sends me a new one saying something like, hey, you're powerful. Hey,
wow,
you're doing good. Hey, all gonna work out. And you don't really notice how much of an impact that makes until you get one. And it's like, I needed to hear that today.
Until you need it.
So I don't even know how long I've had it on there, but it's been an amazing app. You mentioned grounding earlier. Now, I've heard that before, where you basically take your shoes off, you step into the dirt, or you step into, basically you just reconnect with the earth.
Yeah.
Things like, so how long have you been doing that for?
I've been doing it a long ass time before I heard of grounding. A friend of mine told me about grounding probably in February, I think. And I'm like, take your shoes. I always have my shoes off in Costa Rica. And I'm there often. Now I more intentionally take my shoes off and breathe and know, which matters, right? When you do it with intention, and know that my body is being cared for, that my body is being made more healthy when I do this practice. So intentionally since February, but I ain't never liked shoes. We ain't never had a good relationship.
I can understand that.
I want to go back for a minute and talk about that widget, that motivation widget. Okay. I think that is extremely important, because many times what happens is we get these nasty ass nagging thoughts all the time without even knowing. Did you do that right? Did I say that right? Was I supposed to look like this? How am I this person? Oh, I can't believe I walked out without my hair. Shit happens without you even thinking or knowing, like, this is going through my head. And it's a constant stream of like negative self-talk. But when you have these interrupters, sometimes you noticed and you said, oh man, I needed to hear that, because you probably had some negative shit, some lies going on in your mind. And then that thing popped up. But what about those times when you didn't have those things, when you didn't know that you needed it, but it still took you up a notch? Like, those are the things that are super important to staying on that wavelength, so you can continue to get more of what you want. God knows I had no clue my life would be like this.
If you could go back before you made systems and just talk to the younger version of you, what would you tell her?
Shit, you don't want me to into that PTSD. You want me to be in the corner somewhere shaking. No, I would probably tell her, like, Shalise, everything is going to be fine. You're fucking brilliant. It's good, you're good, and all is well. And probably listen faster. Listen to your intuition a lot faster. Don't be so hard-headed. You remember when Granny used to get that switch? Listen faster. Trust yourself. Yeah. You found a space where thriving is the standard. If this resonated with you, make sure you subscribe and share this episode with someone that needs to hear it. So follow me as I talk my shit and walk the walk at Coach Shalise D on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube.